G'day and welcome to Game 1 between TeamLiquid and XtremeGaming in the TI11 Last Chance Qualifiers. This is somewhat of a group stage event at the moment. This will be a best of 2, so no third game. We will either have a 0-2, a 1-1, or a 2-0 for either team. And I believe it's one... Wow, that was a lot of hissing there from Venno. And those points will determine whether the team goes to the upper bracket or the lower bracket in the double elimination playoffs, where 2 teams will progress to the main event of TI11.
10 seconds remaining.
Initial bans coming out from the 2 teams. TeamLiquid take out the Undying, still high priority, even after a couple of nerfs. XtremeGaming get rid of the Lone Druid and the Venno. That's some very targeted bans towards TeamLiquid. The Martu Lone Druid, making sure that one is not available. Very, very targeted ban against TeamLiquid. So XtremeGaming, having done their research, will start those bans and pick the Marcy. Marcy seems still very strong. I did mention the small patch that occurred. There was a small patch, or even a couple of like mini patches between regional qualifiers and the Last Chance Qualifier. Realistically, there weren't too many ultra large changes. Your bats, your DPs, Undyings, they all got a little bit of a nerf, but they're still essentially the same heroes. There hasn't been any reworks or anything too large, so we'll probably still see a lot of those heroes that we saw in the regional qualifiers, with some adaptations that the players worked out in the last couple of weeks. Earthshaker will be the first pick from TeamLiquid. They did also ban the Enigma, so that large AoE control, and also just pushing potential and lane control. It's something that is sort of underestimated, but just the deny with the Eidolons, making sure that the lane stays in a favorable position for the Enigma. It's one of those things that doesn't really have a huge visual effect, but certainly does a lot to help an offlaner control their lane and pressure the safe laner in their initial farm before they get any items online. Visage. So we're gonna see some timing-based lineup here from TeamLiquid. Earthshaker is just a TI hero. As TI progresses, we'll see more and more Earthshaker, more and more Darkseer. These are TI heroes. They come out in TI. They come out of the wrapping. The bubble wrap comes off, and we see some big echo slams and vacuum combos. So Earthshaker is just such a reliable stun. Long range. Good lockdown. You can burst someone from full to nothing with maybe a +1 or +2. It'll always be highly valued in big matches and big tournaments. Xtreme pick up the Morphling, combining that with the Marcy. Now Marcy's most likely going to be in the off lane, either in a 3 or 4 role. It's unlikely we'd see a 5 Marcy. Morphling, unless we're watching T1 and it's a mid-Topson Morphling, it's going to be in the safe lane. Lou will be taking that. We come to our second round of bans. Primal Beast being taken out, just that chaos that can be caused in the fight. Like, you got a Marcy and a Primal Beast, that's a lot of chaos, a lot of sort of incidental damage occurring around a fight. Certainly don't want to have that happening in the middle of the fight. If you have a Marcy and a Primal Beast, then Morphling is just pretty much free to do whatever he wants, because it's not impossible to get on top of a Morphling when there's so much crowd control and just general chaos being caused. Xtreme removed the AA. I think that's an excellent ban. AA is just becoming more and more popular in recent times. The Ice Vortex is a wonderful spell being put on the ground, but the ultimate, of course, is the main reason you would pick the AA. Just to deny the healing, and against a Morphling, plenty of value against a Morphling. Marcy has the healing from the sidekick as well, so it's just a well-rounded hero, the AA at the moment. Global potential, decent in lane, not as particularly strong laner, but decent in lane. Beastmaster being removed, so strong AoE lockdown. The Bat is still in the draft. Bat did get nerfed. We'll have to see if teams are willing to pick up the bat or not after the nerfs it received. I think the most important thing with the bat is the sticky napalm cast still deals damage. It still deals damage. It still stacks up damage with the sticky napalm cast, which I think is probably one of the largest change to Batrider in a long, long time. And that is still a feature. So we'll have to see. Normally when teams are banning out the beast, the bat comes to mind because they're fairly identical in terms of their function in games. Control an area of the map, have single target lockdown, provide vision for your team. Do pretty decent in lane. Shadow Demon will be picked up as well. So, interesting. Welcome into the stream. Anyone who's just joining today, IB Funky, welcome in. Okay, so Shadow Demon provides good save. It's hard save. There's not many abilities in the game that can remove a hero from the map temporarily. You know, Astral Imprisonment and Disruption are probably the two that really come to mind. There are other saves, but they don't remove the hero from the map. So Shadow Demon provides that strong save. If you can get maybe a Luna with this Visage lineup, and you get the illusions from the Shadow Demon Disruption on the Luna, and you can push with those as well, and get the glaives bouncing, then that's something to consider as well. The old Shadow Demon push strats with the hero that you want to send high ground. Io and Leshrac grab from Xtreme. Io indicates that Xtreme want to play around the map a bit more. And sort of connect quickly. Leshrac mid lane, pretty good dominator in lane, and does provide good tower damage and general AoE in the team fight, which is good against Visage. You know, lots of those damage ticks against the Visages will quickly break through the Gravekeeper's cloak and start damaging the HP of the Visage and the birds quite quickly. Drow Ranger from TeamLiquid. Drow's been more and more popular in pubs. I've noticed in the last few weeks, Drow just is being picked more and more. So much so it's in a lot of your games. If you've been playing pubs yourself, I don't know. I've been noticing the Drow. And the laning of the Drow is pretty strong. Yeah, with the Frost Arrows, assuming you have a +1 that can apply a little bit of pressure as well in that pos 5, it looks like it'll be the Shadow Demon. It's a lot of long range harass in lane. And it's hard for an offlaner to actually get up to the creeps without taking a considerable amount of damage from just the Shadow Poison and the Frost Arrows. Last bans here. Batrider will be banned. So it's sort of last phase ban with the Invoker. Mars, Broodmother being taken out from TeamLiquid. They have one last ban as well. And really, you're banning something that you don't want to be getting on top of a Drow Ranger. Something that is going to hunt this Drow Ranger early, not allow the Drow to get the sort of core items online and then go push some towers. Yeah, Lycan can sort of just run Drow down with the ultimate. This is a super timing-based lineup from TeamLiquid. This is your old... Back when you had the Precision Aura, the Drow Visage strats, used to, press the E and the Visage birds, the gargoyles would go to town with like a bonus, bonus 90 damage or something. So it doesn't work exactly like it used to, but it certainly still has similar potential. Centaur Warrunner. So this would be a 4 Marcy, it would appear, with the 3 Centaur. So that Stampede, they just want to get on top of this draft of TeamLiquid. They have a Leshrac, they have the Morphling, the Marcy wants to get in there, Centaur wants to get in there, so just Stampede and just get in on top of Drow, get in on top of Visage. Don't allow them to have this sort of long range chip damage in fights that will just slowly wear you down. Xtreme want to get in and get in fast and just immediately blow up a couple of heroes. Okay, Void Spear's last pick from TeamLiquid. Yeah. Void Spear is pretty good at dealing against a team who wants to run at you. You have the Dissimulate, the Astral Steps, you can sort of break smokes and quickly disengage. Insania on the Shadow Demon will be able to provide some saves from potentially someone who's Blink Stomped. Stop the follow-up stun from Paparazzi. Split Earth on the Leshrac. I think both teams have potential in this draft to win it. I don't think either team has won the draft. I think it's fairly even at this point. There's nothing particularly standing out to me. TeamLiquid are very timing-based. They want to push early. Use that power of the Visage. It's a Xayah Visage, so that's 3. Mickey will be on that mid Void Spirit, and Matu on the top Drow, the safe lane Drow rather. And for Xtreme, Old 11 on the offlane Centaur, Paparazzi on the mid Leshrac, Luz on the 1 Morphling, and then PYW on the 4 Marcy and DY on the 5 IO. Something I might want to note as well is there was no Earth Spirit ban. And Earth Spirit was not picked for PYW, but his Marcy is just as deadly. PYW is the X Factor. He is the absolute X Factor. In the qualifiers, in the Chinese qualifiers, PYW was just like a rash. He was just all over oppositions. They just could not get away from him. And he played like someone who should have won those qualifiers. I think the 4 positions are going to have a very large impact in this game. Will it be, you know, Boxy on this 4 Earthshaker that can make the big plays? Or will it be PYW on the Marcy that can get in and get the work done, get these fights started? Thank you for a bit of sax. Might need to turn those off. I forgot to turn those off. Oh, well, they're on for this game. Quickly, highest net worth. Let's just do some quick predictions before we get too much into the game. Sure, let's go. So both teams getting down some initial vision. 2 wards placed in mid lane. This was actually placed 540, 547, yeah. This one might have been seen, but planted. It's likely that both those wards get dewarded, because as soon as one gets dewarded, the opposition will know there's a ward there as well, so that won't be long. This one likely to stand up on this high ground, could be really planted anywhere, and just a lane dominating ward, allow you to get the harass in on this top lane. And we have the gentleman agreement for the level 1 rune situation. Looks like we will. Side of Liquid is down this southern side of the map. And we'll be heading to our lanes. So in the mid lane, Paparazzi for Xtreme on the Leshrac. We'll be playing up against Mickey on the Void Spirit. In the off lane for Liquid, we have Boxy blocking the wave already with the Fissure. He'll be joined by Xayah on the 3 Visage. They're laning against PYW. Actually, PYW in the top lane at the moment. PYW on the Marcy and Lu on the 1 Morphling. And in the bottom lane, we have Insania on the 5 Shadow Demon supporting Matu on the Drow. And they're laying against Old 11 on the Centaur and DY on the Wisp. So already you're going to see just a disruption coming out. A little bit of harass. Try and go over onto DY in this bottom lane. Yeah, focus the Wisp. Really, this DY is taking so much damage, actually. Is this going to be the first blood? They just need a little bit more. One last hit would have been enough. So already in this bottom lane, DY are taking so much damage. He does have some tangos. He will heal up. And continue to provide those heals over to Old 11. Mid lane, Paparazzi for 4-on-1 for both Paparazzi and Mickey. Stun coming out on PYW to dispose. Back. Boxy towards the Morphling. But level 1 Morphling at the moment, Lu can't really do a lot without a few more levels in this early stage. Xayah doing quite well. 6-0. The Visage is typically not a lane dominating hero. You become really strong at that level 6, but quite early. Rebound comes out. There's the Soul Assumption. A lot of damage. Boxy, it looks like he's in trouble. Will this be the first blood? Lu, no, actually can't get it done. The wand saves PYW. And that Soul Assumption, you can't muck around with it. It's a lot of damage. You get those charges up. I think it's the highest level 1 burst spell in the game. But no first blood just yet. DY is now playing a lot safer on this bottom lane, just letting Old 11 tank the damage, just trying to heal him up from behind. He's got another salve, some more regen sent out to him, so he can keep Old 11 nice and healthy. And Matu doesn't really want to pump a lot of harass into the Centaur unless they're going for a kill, because they know that the Whisper's just sitting behind, getting the heals. Mike is able to get the Water Rune, so did Paparazzi, so they'll be just fine to keep sustained in this mid lane for the time being. Zai looks like he might need a little bit more regen at the moment. He's pretty much out of mana. Has enough for a Grave Chill soon at about 10 seconds. Boxy, lower mana as well, so some regen coming out on the couriers. Yeah, it's Mango and Bassi and Mango and Clary's. Yep. So they realize they need a lot more regen on this bottom lane. Oh, sorry, top lane rather. Bottom lane, split shot comes out. And Old 11 just doesn't care that much at all. Disruption. DY still healing. And with the illusions, they'll get the damage. The frost arrows are starting to chip up. So they have enough. Old 11 will make it back to the safety of his tier 1. And still, no first blood. 3.5 minutes in. Been a couple of close calls for these teams. But the mana on this top lane again. So there will be fissures available momentarily. URW with just the 1-1 in the dispose and rebound for the time being. And as I say it, the first blood actually could drown. Marto actually dies bottom. Okay, I wouldn't have expected that one. I mean, he was dominating this lane, so that's a huge pickup for XtremeGaming down here. That's probably the one hero on the map I'd say wouldn't have died. But there you go. DY will just grab the bounties. A little bit of pull wars here. PYW trying to get the small camp to come across, but won't quite get the job. Boxy is there denying that pull. Zai now is just really just controlling this lane really quite well. Doesn't really have much to worry about. He's holding a skill point. Maybe he wants to put in Gravekeepers if he gets in trouble, but he does put it in there now. Say a Visage has a good start in the off lane. That's a little bit scary because it's typically quite a weak laning hero. There is one in waveform. They'll just harass Lou back, potentially make him use that waveform, but no, you just turn around. Actually, rebound comes out over onto Boxy. There's a dispose back. TP's coming in from the IO. Follow-up stun, but they've turned around PYW, but Wavewolf through in the middle, and the Boxy will go down on the Earthshaker. Same with the Marcy. So trade 1 for 1 in this top lane. So overall, that's probably a net win for TeamLiquid because the IO expended the TP coming top. So Old 11 is now alone in that bottom lane for the time being. Probably won't have too much of an effect. Mid lane, there's 5 heroes mid. Mickey's a hard kill. 3 in the Resonant Pulse, 1 in the Dissimulate. He's hard to bring down. And he's about to hit level 6. They want to kill him before he gets to level 6. It's hard. DY doesn't really bring a lot. URW wants to come in with the rebound. Dissimulate will dodge it. And yeah, that's an optimistic rotation there from XtremeGaming. It's very, very difficult for him to get the kill unless Mickey misplays that pretty badly. So now with the level 6 has the Astral Steps up and available, and now there's a kill threat from the mid lane for TeamLiquid. URW making his way bottom. Has a Mango. Couple of Tangos. A little more regen to maybe share towards Old 11 if he needs it. Martu is just playing careful here. He knows there may be rotations coming. DY's making his way as well. There's the rebound. You know, Insane. Dispose back. Double silence. Damage is coming out with the split shot. Self-disruption does buy a little bit of time. DY is taking the tower shots as well. And Martu, one more click he needed. It wasn't quite enough. He does die eventually to the Shadow Poison. Old 11 taking damage as well. Insania stacking up the stacks. That's 2. And Insania actually lives in that fight and manages to turn and get a kill. Rebound through onto Matu. Into the hoof stomp back. Will there be a save this time? No, there isn't. Insania not quite close enough to help his POS 1 in that situation. Good set of skills there from Xtreme. Just setting back this Matu Drow just a little bit more. I concerned for Xtreme. This top lane Zai is getting pretty much uncontested here. He's had a good lane for a Visage, that is. Like, yeah, he's not top of the net worth, or top of the last hits, but that's a lot more than you'd expect to get on a Visage. Once he hits level 6, that will just catch up very, very quickly. Switch over net worth, we can see Paparazzi is leading, but closely followed by Mickey on this Void Spirit. Wood Vision is quite aggressive for the side of Xtreme at the moment. In Liquid's jungle, so they will see any rotations coming through. And potentially set up for a kill themselves. Matu is desperate. He's come to the mid lane to try and get level 6, but the rebound comes in. The stun's back into the split earth. And all the damage from Paparazzi. It's too much, but there's a counter rotation coming. Nikkei's in with the Dissimulate. Pull, double fissure. Stampede to help him try and get away. But the damage from Paparazzi, it's still there. They haven't brought him down. The Pulse Nova, it's just going to kill Boxy as well. And DY just tops him back up. It's like nothing ever happened. Here, have a free fountain. So the counter rotation there from TeamLiquid just didn't quite get the job done. I thought maybe they had enough, but if you don't burst this Paparazzi Leshrac, I mean, he's got 3 in Diabolic Edict. That damage is going to stack up pretty quickly. And just the 1 Impulse Nova is a lot of damage early on. They're just going to safely even pressure this mid area. Farm up the jungle camps. You can deny farm from your opponents, and that's better than getting farm on your own side of your map. Top lane tower does go down. Zai's got level 7 birds. Level 3 Grave Chill. We'll get that maxed out momentarily, I would assume, just to get the faster attack speed on the birds. And he's working towards the Wraith Pact. Vlad's at the moment. We'll have to see whether he does commit fully on the Wraith Pact. For the side of Xtreme, PYW looking for, looks like a casual hood. Wants to get the hood up, have a little bit more resistance himself. Rebound comes in, catches Insania, follow-up stun, and he will go down. No chance for self-disruption there, and I get the feeling if he had, it just would have delayed a couple of seconds. There was no way he was getting out of that situation. Boxy being given some space on this bottom lane now. He needs to get some levels, he needs to get some farm. The Blink Dagger, or at least the Shard, if he feels like he can't commit for it, will be really important. Mid lane. Zai moves across with the birds. Makes Xtreme have a little bit of a rotation, but doesn't actually get any kills. He sees PYW. And both just run away. They both think that perhaps there's more in the area for each other team than what there is. Zai's just going to very carefully farm these neutrals from the high ground. He does have the Vlads. Hasn't queued up the Wraith Pact yet. We'll have to see if he wants to go for it. DY is sort of leading the charge. Paparazzi's hiding in the trees. Matu has got his level 6 eventually. After a really good start in lane, he just sort of died out of nowhere for that first blood and hasn't ever been able to recover since. We have a 3-man smoke from Liquid moving past bottom side of the Rosh Pit. Potentially their target is this centaur on the top lane. He does have Stampede and a Vanguard. He's not the easiest kill, even raindrops as well. So this is going to be tough. I don't think they get him. His team's in the area. This could be a disaster for TeamLiquid if they commit. I think they decide that, yeah, it wasn't the best idea, that it was a little too deep, and they back away. That's the tell of a good team, you know. A team that's not panicked. You know, other teams there would have forced the play and potentially just lost out on that fight, but they decided that it wasn't right to keep moving forward and they need to give a little bit of space. Now, Xtreme though, they moved in with the smoke. Insania, Split Earth follow-up, and he will go down. Stampede to follow. Can they find Matu? They do! The Dispose back in the trees. The silence won't do enough to save him. And PYW, he's a hunter. Should have a hunter in brackets after his name. PYW Hunter. No one gets away from him. Whether he's playing Earth Spirit, Marcy, whoever, Earthshaker, whoever he's playing, these are sort of 4 strength heroes. He's just got the tracking beacon out. Mickey looking for the Witchblade, so that additional burst. There's some movement coming bottom. Blue's here. PYW just yoinking up that rune. Will he make it out? There's the pull in with the Remnant. He rebounds away, and yeah, Ice Frog says he's perfectly fine. No issues here. Just jump away. So as this game progresses on, Xtreme have a 3k lead for the time being, and we talked about in the draft that Liquid were very timing based. They want to get this Wraith Pack, they want to get Drows, potentially, you know, Yasha, Dragonlance, you know, these early sort of high stat items so they can hit some towers. They might get the jump here. There's a Blink Dagger. I don't know if they have the burst though. It's very hard to follow up. They need PYW to follow it with the rebound, and even then I don't think they have enough. Smoke comes out. Let's break it immediately to kill the ward. Yes, that smoke was spotted. And if this Liquid draft just doesn't seem to propel forward in the next sort of 10 to 15 minutes, they're going to really struggle late. 4-man smoke now from Xtreme. Xtreme have the power late. They have a Morphling, a Centaur, or a Shrek. I'd definitely rather have them jump in, stomp, dissimulate, dodge, rebound, won't catch either. Mickey a little too fast on the fingers to the side of Xtreme. Yeah, XtremeGaming have the advantage late. That is no doubt in this game. The Morphling and the Leshrac, the Centaur with that nice clean initiation are just going to trump pretty much anything Liquid can send. Liquid have a timing, 30 minutes. They haven't won by 30. Their chances are going to decrease drastically. And Lou, all this while, is now popped to the top of the net worth chart. He's stacking up. He's got the Dragonlance, Yasha. This is where the Drow wanted to be. This is the farm the Drow wanted to have at this time. And Martu, he's down at 4.8k, bottom of the cause. He's just really struggling. Hasn't even got the Dragonlance yet. Might be being sent out on the courier. I think here it is here. He's got the Dragonlance now, so there's efficient stats. Can farm a little quicker, be a little safer in the fights. He's just not where he wants to be. Zai, full Wraith Pact completed, so damage mitigation coming out in the fights. Eventually to keep this Matu Drow alive. Will it be enough? There's so much burst. PYW on the Marcy, once he hits that unleash, if he gets to hit anyone, they will die so quickly. Particularly with a Stampede on top. Mid lane, Mickey's just sort of scouting out, trying to find Paparazzi and DY. Against an IO draft, the plan is always to go to the IO. It's a bit like playing against a Spectre. You don't want to gank the Spectre's team. You want to gank the Spectre. Same with this IO playing by DY and Paparazzi on the Leshrac. You don't want to smoke towards this element of XtremeGaming. If Liquid want to make a move, they want to catch this out, because it's much harder for the other group of the team, the remainder of the team, to connect. If you just gank the team, the relocate comes in and you're in a lot of trouble.
Dire's structures are fortified. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Mid lane, Boxy's just trying to soak some XP. He needs that level 6. But, gotta be careful. Nighttime, so the vision isn't quite there for Xtreme. Old 11 is just lurking on the edges, waiting to get a pick. Anyone who shows themselves. Looks like Liquid might come and defend. They don't have 6 on box yet. No Echo. Be pretty impactful in the fight. Glyph comes out. Old 11's actually TPing to the bottom lane, so there's no Centaur here now. If they see him bottom, they might be tempted to take this defense, but yeah, he carefully doesn't show until it was late enough. In comes Old 11. Double edge. Won't actually get him. The stuns from Zai, the birds stunning up Paparazzi, and then the resummon as well, making sure that the side of Xtreme don't get that free gold. Would have been, I think, 200 gold from those birds, so excellent play there. Meanwhile, the relocate, the IO coming back, nothing to see here. DY will go down. Cheeky little plays from Zai with the birds, enabling that TP to come out. Ace Rune for Paparazzi. Bloodstone complete, and the Sand. Looking for the Kyra as well, so that status resist plus amped magic damage. I'm interested to see if PYW does go for the BKB sort of build if he has that farm. I think he's decided that the Hood is just a little better for the time being. Stun comes out. They have the Remnant to follow, but the Strength Morph got off and Lou's perfectly fine. Morphling got a Manta as well. I mean, he wasn't even in threat at all. You can see the go there from Liquid. They went in, said, yeah, let's get this kill, and then immediately said, no, we are not. Let's just bail out of here as fast as possible. They really need Matu to be hitting through the Morph. I think if Drow isn't hitting, they're going to struggle to get the damage out. So Hood complete on PYW. Insania just has the brown boots, some value items, Sage's Mask, Windlace, just the magic stick. He's maximizing the money he has. 5-man smoke now coming from Xtreme. Old 11 with the stomp. They catch out the Visage first. This is an excellent target, but the stuns won't be enough to save him. Fissure bought a little bit of time, and into the Roche pit we go, maybe. DD, oh, here it is. Gaben giveth, and Gaben taketh away. DD outside of Roche, and Morphling is going to kill this very quickly. PYW pops the Unleash as well, and yeah, this is dying incredibly fast. There's no way Liquid would be able to get across and contest this in any reasonable time. And they've known this, and Liquid have just split to the other side of the map, move bottom, and try to get as much on the map as possible. Matu looking for the Hurricane Pike, wants to have a bit of mobility in the fights. He needs it. He needs to be able to distance himself from this Leshrac and the Centaur, the Marcy. I mean, if any of these heroes get to sit on top of Matu, he's just dead. Leshrac or Marcy, either one of those, get to sit on top of Matu and he dies. I think the Centaur as well. He is so in need of mobility. He might just double down on all mobility and just rely on the innate damage of the marksmanship to try and get the work done. I might even go for a blink after this to try and really focus on positioning in these fights. Smoke coming out, 3-man. Can they catch? Here it is. They found DY. Paparazzi will scamper away. And that's fine, I think, for the side of Xtreme. They're hitting a tier 2. I'll just take a tier 2 tower, and that opens up the outposts. They want to defend. Mass TPs, they're coming in. Old 11 is caught by the other element in the trees. Follow up Fissure. Stop him from getting the blink stun. And they hold their own tier 2 Xtreme. Liquid unable to get the trade. Liquid, they don't want to fight right now. With the Aegis on Lu, they can't commit to a fight. They can't even kill this Morphling once, they feel at this point, let alone killing him twice. Just hang around off to the side here, try and get a pick, but I think Xtreme are sort of reading it. It doesn't really matter either way, because Lu's down here. They're not going to kill him twice. There's a relocate available. Old 11 shows on lane, and they're just TPing out. Yeah, they're saying this is not a place we want to be. We need to get out of here. So Liquid deciding that maybe if there was just one hero showing on that bottom lane, they could get a pick. But with multiple heroes and with the scan hitting even further into the jungle, they concluded there was 2, probably even 3 heroes in the area, and that just wasn't a fight they were willing to take. Mickey has the Kaya ready now as well. Drums going into the AC on Zai. Boxy still queued up that shard. No blink, no shard. This is a sad Earthshaker at the moment. I did say this game would be decided by the 4s. We've got Earthshaker level 7, about to be level 8 with the book. No blink, no shard. TYW, who's feeling nice and strong. Hooded Defiance, Phase Boots, level 10. And with that maxed out sidekick, he just makes Morphling hit so much harder. You know, I think the sidekick has become the new Bloodlust. Hey, do you want to attack faster, or you just want to, like, deal obscene amounts of damage and lifesteal? And in a way, the Marcy, it just trumps a lot of these other sort of supporty type of heroes that buff up your carry. It just gives so much. It lasts for 7 seconds on a 12-second cooldown. Insane. Zai just trying to pull the creeps away. Mickey will TP in. It's going to be hard to take the fight. There's the damage. Look, he's hitting for a plus 65. Triple Fissure. In they go with the Remnant. Can they burst the Centaur? They're trying to get the Echo. Will get the job done. DY trying to make his way away. He will die to the Frost Arrows. And Mickey, Paparazzi, getting the rebound. increased movement. Lau actually with the Aghanim Scepter from the Earthshaker. He's just jumping away. Welcome to the slam. He's out of there.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
You gotta be careful. Okay. Won't get caught by the Split Earth. So, nice little fight there for the side of Team Liquid. Against the Aegis, against the push. They pick up 2 and just delay it a little bit. Lose 1 minute left on the Aegis. It's not pretty hard to do anything in 1 minute now with the lanes reasonably pushed out. And Matu is finally starting to come online. He has the Frost Arrows upgraded with the Shard. Sania dying in the jungle, under the wood. There's a wood there, caught him just wandering through. But with those Frost Arrows, Shard online, you can get a little bit more damage at. Bottom lane. He saves himself again! Zai with the bird stuns. They try and come in with the relocate, but as soon as that Wolf Stomp's been used, they just can't get anything more done. Zai just stuns as the relocate comes in, and as long as Paparazzi can't get off that Split Earth, he just TPs away. So I actually changed up the build. Went from AC over to Crimson. So thinking about more smaller damage instances rather than the AC. It's an interesting change. Would have thought the AC is where he'd want to be ending up at. Because this game seems to be going a little bit later. You know, Liquid, they missed their timing. Unless they still want to try and hit that 30-minute timing, they're still feeling confident that they can make it. 6k lead now to XtremeGaming. Has sort of, the bleeding has stopped. We can see the graphs have leveled out. Bleeding has been controlled, but Xtreme are sitting firmly in the box seat still. Old 11 actually has a Crimson of his own. So the Aghanim Scepter on Morph, primarily to just copy the Earthshaker. I mean, it's insane. Get the Enchant Totem, the bonus damage, the mobility, everything you get from that Enchant Totem upgrade on the Morphling. It just turns Morphling into another beast entirely. You know, you think about Morphling being mobile, having high amounts of damage, good burst, good sustainability, and you add an Earthshaker Aghanim Scepter upgrade to that, and everything just multiplies by 2. The damage, the mobility, survivability, everything. Smoke. Mid lane. They want to try and find the Wisp. This is the rotation. But Xtreme, they sniff it out. Old 11's come over to body block. Smoke will break up on the high ground. He's in the trees. They go for the stun. Can they burst him? Centaur, ulti, try and save him. They can't. Echo catches onto 2 in the middle of the fight. PYW is actually going down to the birds. The damage is a little too much. And Liquid look to be taking this fight. Disruption over onto Lu. He's being caught from the other remnant. He's in. He's out. Relocate. And Liquid, they take the fight. Still a 6k gold lead for Xtreme. So even though they take that fight, they don't really catch up 5k now. So it will just make a little bit of room. Yeah, they bursted the Leshrac. I didn't think they'd get through Leshrac. With the IO sort of tethered up, overcharged behind. That was a lot of damage they just dumped completely onto Paparazzi. And, you know, with the Kyron Sand, I sort of thought he'd survive through that at least. But I guess if he had the BKB to pop after, he may have lived.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
But for the time being, that's going to be pretty difficult for him, it would appear. Abi Funky, I see your redeeming shout out on Twitter. I will note that down, and I'll jump on that after today's games. Thank you so much for tuning in, Ivy Funky. I hope you're enjoying the games. Lu working towards the Shard next as well. Wants to have the attribute shift while stunned. Very powerful. Particularly against these birds. You know, if you can get the double stun, or double summon, resummon on the birds, it's a lot of lockdown. You think about these birds, how much they stun for. Let's just check it out. Let's do the math. At level 3, it's 1.5. So, yeah, 1.3 seconds. It's 6 seconds of stun with the resummon. It's dirty. Old 11 smoke does break onto Zai. come in with the hoof stomp and the blink. Zai's just holding the birds, trying to get the denied initiation. There's the silence onto 2. And on the high ground, Matu's actually doing the damage with the split shot. Loud pops the BKB. Will use his own Fisher and jump across. And down goes Boxy. Now Mickey will initiate over onto Io. We'll get the damage through. And now Xtreme, they're running. They're in a retreat. They're trying to get out. Centaur ulti will be used to try and disengage, turning around from Paparazzi. Can get the lockdown on the Mickey. He's potentially gone a little too deep to simulate over the edge of the cliff with that extra ring. Fissure catching over onto Disruption save. PYW will get caught from the Drow Frost Arrows. Split Earth will finish off the Void Spirit, but now Loud moving forward. Stuns will follow up from the bird. Zai needs to drop it before it dies. And Lu, he's on the hunt. Wow, that was a hectic fight in that one. There was, it sort of looked like Liquid were taking it quite well. And then, yeah, Xtreme got a little bit of value out of it, being able to take down Mickey. There was a buyback on the IO. DY did expend it, so won't be working towards that Holy Locket anytime soon.
Scanning.
I'm pretty well today, I'll be funky. Hope you're having a wonderful day, man. You ready to enjoy some dotes? This is the TI11 last chance qualifiers. So 2 teams will be making it through from these qualifiers through to the main event of TI. And we're watching today XtremeGaming up against TeamLiquid's first game of the day. It's a group event hearing, so there's actually a lot of games. I think there's 4 sets of games happening at the moment, but this is just one of those. Both teams just taking a bit of a moment to relax. I don't want to misclick before. Zai does have the AC. Yeah, I'm just an absolute perpeg. Zai does have the AC, and it's the Crimson over on Old 11, which makes a lot more sense because of the bird damage. Crimson Guard against the Visage Bird makes a lot more sense. So, absolute zero quality caster right there. But we've fixed up our mistakes. Makes a lot more sense now. So AC is over on Zai. Mickey has the Aghanim Scepter as well. Has that silence available. Looking at going for the Ether Remnant. Or the Ether Remnant. The Octarine Core, get the additional cast range. Cooldown reduction. And Roche will look like it is the next objective. Lu goes in as the Morphling. Doesn't actually have any lifesteal himself. Now he gets it from PYW. Liquid, though, they know it's on. Birds are scouting in and around the pit. Zai is doing the reconnaissance. 5-man smoke from Xtreme. They want to take this fight. They're still feeling reasonably strong. 5k net worth lead. It's hard to go up the high ground, though. 8-second BKB still on Lu, so... Strong timings. 8 seconds on Paparazzi, too. Into the middle lane. Old 11 comes out with the stomp. Rebound follow-up stomp from PYW. PYW might just die. He does go down to the Soul Assumption. And Old 11, he's been caught. The damage is too much from Drow. Buyback immediately from PYW. Matu, he's on the hunt. 4-star forward. They will find DY. Can they get the stun? They will. And that's a... No buyback on this IO. They'll know it. He brought back in the previous fight. This might be the go signal for the Roshan. Liquid, they're turning this game around. They're fighting back. Maybe they just rate themselves as the better late game draft. Just take it slow. With Drow, if Matu can get the farm online. He's got the Manta now with the Hurricane, looking into a BKB. If he can get to the point where he has a Daedalus, or maybe a Butterfly. And that's going to be... We saw the damage on the Centaur in that fight. He just melted. Level 18 now on Matu. Shard has the -8 second multi-shot cooldown, so farming capacity is high as well as multiple casts in fights. And was that a free shard? I think that was a free shard over on Zai, yeah, so free shard on Zai. He's got the Gravekeeper's Cloak, the castable ability, can drop himself down. Heal himself for, was it 25% of your health? It's pretty strong. Make yourself invulnerable and heal for 25%. It's pretty good. URW now working towards the BKB, but I think he's going to be caught. Mickey jumps in, does get the silence. Actually Let's get the dodge on the Remnant, but with the fissure, he won't be making his way out of there. Down for 70 seconds. And I'm feeling like the tier 2s of Xtreme are not long for this world. Lou, I have Scardy being queued up next. And look at him go in. He's going to pressure this tier 3. In fact, if there's no rotations, he just takes this. He's sort of feeling that he can stay around for a little bit longer. Boxy does have the follow-up stun from the shard. It's going to be hard. He will just attribute shift and waveform away. With the shard now available. Actually, no, he hasn't got the shard. He did have it queued up. Has decided not to go for the shard on Lose. So it can be locked down if they manage to get the disable before the attribute shift comes out. Halberd coming next to an old 11, primarily targeted towards the Drow. There's not really anyone else on the team who's clicking that much. You know, the Visage, it's the birds that are clicking, not the main hero. And Mickey, he's doing a lot of burst damage. He's not really clicking himself too much either. He's going for a magical damage build. So that Halberd will be exclusively for the Drow. It has Martu's name on it. And the tier 2 will drop. As this just a high ground push. I mean, they have Aegis on Drow. Why not? Why not? You got the birds. Old 11 seeing off to the side. Waiting to get an initiation. Glyph is forced. And all of a sudden, Xtreme, after dominating the entire game, starting to feel like a lot of the pressure. They're the ones who have their base being pushed. And I think they can chip here. I don't think there's a lot of punish for this Drow. Martu's hitting for a long way away. We'll just force him back with the multi-shot. Up onto the high ground. Will he venture it? Yes, he does. Stomp comes out. Manta dodge from Martu. Silence through onto Centaur. They're jumping in. Can they get the follow-up lockdown? Actually, in the backline, Paparazzi's gone in with the BKB. Centaur. Ultimate comes out. Double stuns. Actually locking down the entire fight. Martu does go down once. BKB popped immediately, dodging the split earth. Trying to get through onto Paparazzi. They have the pull. Bloodstone trying to keep himself alive. And there's the relicate save. Lou now in the middle of the fight with the BKB on top of Martin. Martin needs space. Disarmed from the Halberd. Zai does the self-drop. Paparazzi is now onto Martu as well. Can he turn around? In the middle of the fight, Fisher coming out. Split shot doing the damage as well. PYW wants to rebound through. There's an echo. It doesn't really hit on a lot. And it looks like the side of Liquid are just falling. They may have pushed a little too strong, and Zai will go down as well as he tries to TP out. Not 3 times in a row. Fool me once. Shame on you. Fool me twice. Shame on me. And there was no fool me 3 times. For XtremeGaming, Zai does not make it out, and that is a full team wipe. And not even a buyback from Xtreme. It's not showing a buyback there. So I thought there was. No, not even a buyback from XtremeGaming. They just took a perfect fight, and Xtreme have gone from defending against an Aegis push to taking the opponent's racks. Glyph is used. Oh, how the tables have turned. Sidekick. Giving Lou the damage. Delaying with the fissure. And the follow-up lockdown. Secondary Glyph comes out. That's the only one of those they get for TeamLiquid. They want to hold this racks. They're not keen on giving it up. Zai spawns in 10 seconds. And Old 11 will get the rebound movement speed to get away. Zai. MK wants to chase, but I'm not sure they can get on it with the Stampede. Yeah, they just run away. So they lose themselves a racks and half damage on a tower bottom. I think that would have been a little bit damaged already, but Liquid get absolutely punished for playing in Xtreme's area. I mean, yeah, they did get the ranged racks, but they didn't get the melee, and it's not really worth it at all. You lose 5, you lose your own base, and Liquid from feeling very dominant to back again, sort of looking at their shoelaces, wondering what went wrong in that fight. Zai has the Boots of Bearing, so we'll always have some charges for those drums, but the increased movement speed, being unable to be slowed for those couple of seconds. PYW is now close to the BKB, and this is a scary timing now for Xtreme. If this 4 Marcy can get a BKB, there's nothing really to stop him in the fights. Matu would have to put all his attention onto PYW, and that's not really where he wants to throw his damage. Mickey has the Etherlens followed up, still working towards the full Octarine core. Boxy needs a blink. This man needs a blink desperately. So many times his echoes just haven't had impact in the fight. He needs to have a blink dag. He's still 850 gold away. 37 minutes in on a 4 Earthshaker. I mean, it just hasn't gone to plan for Boxy this game. There's the 5-man smoke. They chuck a ward down. Obs and Sentry. Looking for the rebound, initiate. There's a ward that Liquid are playing under. They could just walk straight into it. Xtreme. No, they back off. This is a real telltale mark of good teams. I noted it about TeamLiquid earlier when they made a smoke movement through Xtreme's jungle and decided to back off when they didn't get what they wanted. Xtreme just did the exact same thing here. They came to this high ground, they planted the ward down, they saw nothing, they waited a moment, and then backed off because they knew that this high ground is most likely wooded. You don't want to walk into that high ground. You can easily lose a fight there and lose the advantage that you have currently in the game. So I just with an escort bird over on the side of the map, just keeping Mickey safe. It's interesting to have one over there. They're pinging it out, but Insania will just get out in time with the rebound and the split earth coming through milliseconds after. I'd be funky. Yeah, I got it, man. Zai working towards Hex, it looks like. Got the Aghanim Scepter now, plus the Hex coming next. So, Aghanim Scepter, Silent as a Grave. He now has invisibility for himself and the birds. Can do a little bit of hunting, as well as the bonus damage. 25% bonus damage for the 4 seconds after coming out. So, Zai can start bursting people. Once he gets the Hex, he can absolutely burst pretty much. I wouldn't say anyone on the side of Xtreme, but probably anyone but the Morphling would die to a Silent as the Grave Hex Visage. Just coming out to scare you, to haunt your dreams. Bottom lane, Insania still just trying to protect Mickey as they push out. Timeless Relic on Mickey at the moment. Have a look at some neutral items. Ceremonial Robe on Paparazzi, a really high value item on Lashrak. DY has the Aquila, just hanging on for the auras. Tied up the Sliver on Morphling. Actually, will they catch him out? There's a ward up here. Boxy gets the stun. But DY, given that bonus movement speed by PYW, will be able to make it away. Havoc Hammer for Old 11. I mean, that's just a dream come true. One of the highest strength gain heroes in the game. Plus 4 strength per hero. Gets himself a Havoc Hammer. Really lots of value there with the bonus damage as coming out from the strength of Old 11. Matu has an Elven Tunic. A little bit of evasion, a little bit extra damage, movement speed, everything that a drow wants. What a drow needs. Everything to make her happy. Silent as the Grave, Timeless Relic dropping for XtremeGaming as well now. Zai hanging on to the Quickening Charm. Very lots of value with the summon. You know, just taking that down to 99 seconds. If you have to resummon, it's quite a big ability. The hero by itself without the birds is pretty much nothing. So you need those birds to have impact in the fight. The gargoyles, the lads, the familiars. I call them birds, but you know what I mean. Lu now has the Skadi and the Satanic online, working into the Daedalus in his top lane, and the 10k lead on Xtreme, it really doesn't matter that much now. As we've seen in the recent fights, the net worth at about this point in the game, you know, you get to 40, 50 minutes in, 10k leads aren't really a lot. It's like one item on one or two items across a whole team. It's not too much. Into the pit they go, though. They know it's on. Xtreme smoked up. They're sort of going around the pit. They're trying to catch the backlines. And oh, Insania is quick on the blink. Matu will follow up. Damage coming out from Matu onto this Centaur, and Centaur is actually still alive. He does go down eventually. PYW, BKB, Unleashed, trying to get onto Matu, but Matu's just standing his ground, trying to deal the damage. Hurricane Pike away. He will get it done. Paparazzi is now on top of Matu. BKB popped. He's trying to live. He has to try and get away, but lose here. It's a buyback from Centaur. It's actually not that bad for Liquid. XtremeGaming lose 3, buyback 1. Liquid lose the Drow and have to buy back on Insania. It does mean that Xtreme will now head into the pit. There's the secondary buyback from the IO. They want to still fight this even without the Drow. It's hard. Lu onto the high ground in the form of the Earthshaker. Has the enchant totem. Will be jumping around. Bonus damage. Let's look at it. It's plus 669 damage. Very nice. On the backlines, Zai tries to get pick off onto DY, but doesn't quite get the job done. Will get stunned up, and Lu's coming in. So, Shard. Self-stun. The birds are coming over. Will there be a follow-up stun as well? It doesn't get this detection. Invisibility equals invulnerability. Apparently it does. Zai just goes invisible and walks away. Old 11 will tank that just to get it out of the way. And Roche is half HP. 24 seconds on Matu. Can they delay it any more? They know there's been buybacks expended on the side of Xtreme. They're trying to get through Old 11, but without the Drow, they really can't do it. Roche, it's down to about a 10th HP. Will Mimikay jump in and try and steal it? They have the vision from the Shadow Poison, but it's actually Old 11 who's going in. And Boxy will just get caught with that Havoc Hammer, just smacking him down. So as the dust settles, Lu has the Aegis. Cheese over on Paparazzi. And
has been killed.
Was it the, I think it was the Aghanim's Blessing. The Nihilism. Nihilism on Leshrac now. So, very powerful ability against the Drow and the Visage, actually. When you actually start to think about what impact that's going to have. Nihilism, for anyone who doesn't know, causes Leshrac and all nearby enemies to turn ethereal, preventing them from attacking, slowing them, and making them take more magic damage. Increases the move speed of Leshrac and does not cause Leshrac to take amp damage. So, if Leshrac can turn the birds or Visage and Drow ethereal, they can't attack. They can't attack, and they can't actually... No one else can deal damage on the Leshrac themselves, because he'll be a little ethereal boy. Like an amped up ghost stick. 14k net worth lead now to Xtreme. DD on Lu. It's got the boots in the backpack because... he's a big boy now. Only 307 movement speed, but as long as there's an Earthshaker around and you can morph into that Earthshaker, he'll be jumping for joy. Birds. One does look like it'll get caught. 100 gold plus 100. Will that be a resummon? He doesn't actually have the resummon. I wonder whether he'll use it straight away or just hold on to one bird for the time being. I think it'll be an immediate resummon, maybe. Just get that cooldown ticking again with the 2 birds. It's half the effectiveness with 1 bird. Trying to bait a little bit of time here. Yeah, there it is. There's the resummon. So, resummon with the Silent of the Grave, and he'll be going off again. Mid lane, Paparazzi pushing out. Level 24. Close to getting 25, and this is where it gets scary. Gets very, very scary for Team Liquid. If he gets those 25 Diabolic Edict explosions, plus 25, gets off a Diabolic Edict, pretty much anyone inside that AoE is just going to die. It's pure damage. It's so much. Goes from 40 explosions to 65 explosions. It's more than a third increase. And up to the high ground. Lu goes. He has the Aegis. Insania will say, well, if you're strong, I'm going to turn that strength against you. Use your own illusion. See if you can do anything. Mickey jumps in. Does force a waveform out. And with the shard now in Paparazzi, we have the Split Earth repeating on the ground. There is a split put occurring. Zai is over in the trees. The birds will die. And that's no more birds for 45 seconds. So it does force XtremeGaming back at the cost of his birds. So you have to play carefully for 30 odd seconds until he's got a resummon on those birds. But I think that's a trade Liquid will make. Happily forcing them back, saving their own racks for a bit of a cooldown. Mickey, Octarine Core complete fully now with the Timeless Rogue. I mean, this Void Spirit's starting to do a lot. There are some big timings coming up. Dissimulate roots for 2 seconds. Very, very important. Used to be a stun. Thank you, Angerin47, coming in with the follow. It's not as strong as it used to be, the level 25 on the Void Spirit. It's a root now, not a stun, but still. Control from the Dissimulate. Very, very valuable. Zai, close to getting to that Hex. Wonder whether he's going to buy out for that or say buyback. I have a suspicion he might just buy out. The fact that he's bought the Void Stone at the moment. Martu has the Daedalus now ready, going for a Lincoln Sphere, wants to have a little bit more protection. He realizes he has enough damage. If he gets to hit, he will kill them. BKB or no, if Martu gets to hit with his Drow, they will die. Has a flicker to save himself as well. Boxy, he's happy now. He's got a Blink Dagger. He's got the Shard. He's got everything he needs. He now can make those big plays that we know Boxy is capable of doing. Get a big Echo Slam in the middle of the fight and turn it around for TeamLiquid. Because at the moment, Aegis and Cheese, we've got another 16 seconds. I don't think they're going to get to the high ground with it. It's a bit of a risk to go now. Liquid will know that this is expiring. 9 seconds on it. Blue knows that he's very strong either way. He's got a Satanic. He's got Skadi. BKB, Silver Edge. He's not exactly a fragile boy. But without the Aegis, there is a chance they could potentially burst. If they could control DY on the backline, they can get on top of the IO with Zai, with the Silent as the Grave, go around invisibly from behind, get on top of this IO, cancel any relocate save, and the burst from the Drow and the Void and the Earthshaker might be able to get the job done on the Morphling. That's how the teamfight has to look for Liquid. Otherwise, they just save the Morphling and reset. It's a 5-man smoke now from Liquid, moving through the jungle, looking for a pick, but Xtreme seem to have read it themselves. They're gathering up. They might even go for a smoke. Smoke in the backpack at the moment. Boxy. Get the catch on the stun. There's the smoke, actually. If they do smoke, they're going to be on the high ground. They see it. They get the initiation from the high ground. Can they get the burst? BKB comes out on the Lishrak, moving forward with the Stampede. They're trying to get onto Martu. He's BKB'd, force-staffing away. They're chasing onto Martu. Can he turn around eventually and deal the damage? He's getting a chance to hit. Will start doing it. They're on the low ground, though. Lu gets stunned on the high ground. Jump in from Mickey. Will get the burst. He's got a buyback available if he needs it. Will use it. DY, the Wisp. It needs to die. It will. No buyback on the IO. Martu went down during that exchange anyway. And it's godlike triple kill for Lu. Paparazzi still moving forward onto the birds. Did get one. The other, will it live? No, it will not. Haste Rune. Spawning. Is there a resummon? No resummon for 10. I mean, that fight looked pretty good for TeamLiquid. They managed to disengage from the Stampede. They managed to turn around and get back in. They even killed the IO. They killed the backline supports. But if you're dumping all your damage into the backline supports and there's nothing left for the Morphling. Oh, Hex, actually on the high ground. Do you have the follow-up stun? They might have an Echo. He goes down. Oh, they might actually find Lewis Track as well. Paparazzi, he bought back for this. Doesn't have BKB for 10 seconds. Hold 11 with the Havoc Hammer. Says good night, Mickey. Boxy blinking forward. Will find the stun. Cancels the TP. Hex followed up. They're getting the vision. Slow comes out. Now with Matu arriving, the damage will be here to bring down the Centaur. But the important thing there for the side of Xtreme is that Paparazzi made it out. He was the one without buyback, and he was able to live. So, are they beelining for him? They're going Silence of the Grave. They're moving forward. Has one Boots of Bearing charge left. I'd find him if he went up. Paparazzi's farming. BKB is available again. I think it's down to 6 seconds now, but still giving you that Dispel and Magic Community. Boxy looking for some more initiation options. Going for the Shadow Amulet, probably for the Shadow Blade rather than a Glimmer. Wants to be able to move in and around. 25 on Visage, takes the +1 Familiar. So 3 birds on the resummon will be ready to go. instead of taking the Gravekeeper's cloak granting armor, wants to have that additional lockdown. It's another 1.5 seconds of lockdown, and if you have a resummon, that's really another 3 seconds of lockdown. So 9 seconds total lockdown available for Xayah once he has a resummon with these birds. Cheese was not expended, so DY still holding on to that resource in the backpack. Starting to think this cheese probably won't be used at any point. PYW has the basher available, so if he can get on top of the drow, he kills her. This is the scary threat as a Marcy 4. You know, this Marcy hero is so overtuned, I think, at the moment still. The fact that it was first picked this game, it's really strong. From a 4 position, you know, you think about a 4 position that with a basher BKB can threaten a POS 1 with, you know, 3 times as much farm. 27k net worth to 10k net worth. Martu is scared. Martu is scared of PYW. Like, he has to be careful. If PYW gets on top, it's not looking good. Lincoln's complete on Martu now. Insania has an Aghanim Scepter, so triple Demonic Purge. Triple Demonic Purge. Has the damage from the level 15 as well. Roche will be scouted by the illusion. They're coming around the high ground. Triple birds are leading under the effect of Silencer's Grave as well. So smoked and invisible. They see him. Stun to initiate. Hex to follow up. They get on the backlines as well. Can they burst him? Stampede. BKB from loot. He will be saved. Paparazzi's in the middle of the fight with the BKB himself. Trying to get the splitter through. He will die. Buyback immediately on Boxy. And Martu, he's caught. He's caught by Marcy. He's dealing the damage. Martu's trying to get away. He's dead for 125. Insania blinks. Birds in the back line. Xayah is trapped between a rock and a hard place. And he will look like he's going to go down. Dispose back. Birds resummon. Oh no, the birds. 1 will die. It looks like 2 will just make it away. And just as we were talking about, Martu got locked down by Marcy. A hero with a quarter, you know, third of the net worth, and that's a 4 position. Just that bash at BKB. Can't do anything. It's too much damage. It's too much control. So that will be Aegis onto Lu. PYW takes the Aghanim's Blessing. We have an additional cheese onto PYW as well. And if we could find the Refresher. Refresher Shard is on the Morphling. Level 28 now. So we'll have that plus second Adaptive Strike Stun and 35 Strength soon enough. So very, very tanky and a little bit more control being offered. Trying to stack up the Shadow Poisons with the level 20 on Insanity. The low cooldown. Trying to cut the wave. Mickey knows the importance. With no buybacks, 50 seconds. They're just going straight into the base. Insania does save himself. Vanish up. But Paparazzi's onto this little Shadow Demon. I don't think he can get away. No buyback either. The tier 4s are under threat with the Diabolic Edict. Lu hitting as well. Glyph comes out. Can they delay another 35 seconds? I don't think they can. Mickey's going to have to pull off a miracle. Echo Slam Boxy isn't enough! No, it isn't. The Hex comes out onto Mickey with the follow-up splitter stun. Boxy, he got the echo of his dreams in the end, but it just wasn't enough. And at 55 minutes in, Liquid, the throne will fall, the GGs will come out, and game 1 in this best of 2 will go to XtremeGaming.